Hey, what's going on, GameLeapers? The preseason 2023, preseason 13, whatever you want to call it. There are some new items hitting the Rift, and updated items that we are going to get into in this video, and there are 12 of these. And these will be affecting most champions on the Rift, which means it's probably going to affect all of you out there because you are going to see these items in the next couple of months. So make sure you stick around for the whole video to know exactly what these changes are going to be. And of course, if you want to prepare yourself for the preseason and season 13, checking out the GameLeap website and also signing up so you get exclusive access to our library of content that has champion courses, guides, high elo VOD analyses made by the best players and coaches around the world to help you become the best, it would be a very wise decision. So without further ado, let's get into the preseason 2023 season 13 changes. So first of all, the tank mythics, what you know now, so Sunfire, Turbo, Chemtank, and then Frostfire Gauntlet. Well, only Frostfire that's kind of getting reworked or even reverted is staying as a mythic item. So we actually have 3 new tank mythics and we will have 4 in total. The first of these, Icathia's Endurance. So you're getting 400 HP, 30 armor, 30 magic resist, 20 ability haste, and the passive attached to this is called Voidborn Resilience. So for each second in champion combat, you gain a stack of armor and magic resist, stacking 10 times. And once you do actually reach the 10 stacks, you become empowered, instantly draining enemies around you based on their max HP. And this actually doubles your resistances until the end of combat 2 once you hit the max stacks. The mythic passive attached to this item is that you gain 5 armor and 5 magic resist for each major legendary item you have afterwards. So this item is giving very similar stats to Sunfire Aegis. We still don't know how much this will cost, but that is the first tank item. Now the next tank item is actually giving you exactly the same stats, and this is for Radiant Virtue. So exactly like in Icathia's Endurance, 400 HP, 30 armor, 30 magic resist, and 20 ability haste. Now the passive attached to this is really what separates it. So Guiding Light, upon casting your ultimate, you transcend, increasing your max HP for 9 seconds. And while you're transcended, as you have more HP, you and your allies within 1200 range, you and them gain 20 non-ultimate ability haste. So in your QWE, those cooldowns are going to be reduced. You and your allies will also heal for 1.5% of your max HP every 3 seconds. And this is actually increased based on that champion's missing health. So if you're missing more HP, the more HP you're going to regenerate. And on top of all of this, healing is doubled on yourself. And this Guiding Light passive has a 90-second cooldown. Now the mythic passive attached to Radiant Virtue is that it grants all other legendary items 100 HP. So alongside Icathia's Endurance, that is the second tank mythic. Now the third tank mythic, Iceborn Gauntlet. And this is kind of like a throwback to what it was back in the day. So 400 HP, 40 armor, 20 ability haste, but there's no mana attached to the item. But what's interesting is the Spellblade passive. So of course, after you use an ability, your next attack is going to deal more damage, but it's also going to create a frost field for 2.5 seconds. Now this is really useful as well for champions who can actually proc this with their abilities. So like an Ezreal Q or even a Senna Q. And hopefully these ranged champions don't abuse this too much. I don't think they will, because if you really wanted to slow enemy champions, you could just build like a Serylda's Grudge or something. But back to Iceborn Gauntlet, enemies as well that move across the field you create, that frost field, they are going to be slowed based on your maximum HP. So again, it's kind of playing to the tanks. If you're building HP, which Ezreal, which Senna really won't, you're going to benefit more from the item. Now the primary target is slowed for double the amount and has their damage against you reduced. So again, tanks in the top lane, this sounds like an option. Champions who really like Spellblade, so maybe Trundle, maybe even a champion like Skarner, they can really make use of this. Now as far as the mythic passive goes, it grants all of your other items, your big items, 50 HP, a bit of tenacity, and slow resistance. Now the final tank mythic item, guys, this is called Goliath's Ascendiary. And what this mythic is giving you is a massive 800 HP, which is double what all the other tank mythics are giving you. It's giving you 200% of your base HP regeneration. It's giving you 20 ability haste. So all of these items are giving you 20 ability haste, so there's no difference there, but this is giving you colossal consumption in this passive. So it says here you charge up a powerful attack against a champion over 3 seconds while within 600 range of them. Now this charge attack drains the target, deals damage based on your maximum HP as bonus physical damage, and it also heals you for that same amount. Also, you permanently gain maximum HP equal to 15% of the drain, and this does have a 30-second cooldown per target. And honestly, that last part of the passive sounds kind of nuts because you're gaining maximum HP each time you use it, right? And you'll have that for the rest of the game, unless of course, and it does state that here, if you sell the item itself. Now the mythic passive with Goliath's Ascendiary is that it grants all other major items you have, well, 1% increase HP and 6% champion size. So what's happening to the other tank mythics? So we talked about Sunfire Aegis. It's no longer going to be a mythic item. So Sunfire Aegis is going to continue to give you 400 HP, but it's going to give you a whopping 50 armor. So no more magic resist. So this is the anti-attack damage item you have to build. Now the Immolate passive, this is still here. Quite simple. And the other tank mythic that we know at the moment is Turbo Chemtank. Again, no longer going to be a mythic item. This is giving you 450 HP, so 50 more than Sunfire, 50 magic resist, and 10 ability haste. Now I don't know why Sunfire isn't giving you ability haste and Turbo Chemtank is. Also not sure why Chemtank is giving you an extra 50 HP over Sunfire, but the supercharge active attached to Turbo Chemtank is still there, so you're gaining movement speed towards enemy champions. So that's what's happening to the tank items in the preseason. Again, we don't know exactly how much these items are going to cost, but there are a few more items to take into consideration here, and there are still more tank items to talk about. So first of all, we have Randuin's Omen that's getting changed. So you're getting 400 HP now, so this is way more than you have at the moment, which is only 250, and you're getting 70 armor. So the armor's actually dropping from 90. Now the humility passive is still here, but it's kind of changing. So instead of slowing nearby enemy champions for a quarter of a second for 99%, you're slowing them only for 55%, but this is lasting a lot longer for 2 seconds. This has a 60-second cooldown. Now rock solid, that passive is still there as well, but there is kind of a new passive here. This is called critical resilience. So critical strikes, generally speaking, will deal 20% less damage to you when you have Randuin's Omen. The current iteration of this happens when you actually use humility. So for 4 seconds you reduce it. This is just saying throughout a game, like whenever a champion hits you and crits you, that's going to deal less damage to you. Now another tank item that's getting drastically changed, this is Abyssal Mask. So instead of giving you 450 HP like it is at the moment, this is going up by 50 to 500. Now you're still getting magic resist, but you're getting more of it. You're getting 40 magic resist, the same amount of ability haste, so 10 ability haste, but you're now getting 300 mana. This is very interesting indeed, and whenever you see this attached to an item, Rise mains might be excited like this, and it also has a new passive, of course, because of the new mana you're getting. So this is called Eternity. So you restore mana equal to 15% of damage taken from champions, and health equal to 20% of your mana spent up to 15 HP per cast. Now toggled abilities, so stuff like Anivia's ultimate, can only heal for up to 15 health per second. Now the Unmake passive is still here, so you're reducing the magic resist of nearby enemy champions, but some very interesting changes here to the tank items. Now the final tank item to talk about, I know I've been going on about tank items all video, but this is the final one. This is Catalyst of the Aeons. So you're getting 225 HP, you're getting 300 mana, just like Abyssal Mask, but that's it as far as the actual stats that it gives you. Now you are keeping the Eternity passive exactly the same as what Abyssal Mask is giving you. So this item is definitely going to be a cheaper option, maybe for supports this might be an option. And remember, it's not giving any magic resistance. So if you're against a team that has very little magic damage, but you still want to build the item and use the passive, Catalyst of Aeons is obviously the better choice than Abyssal Mask. Now moving on, one of the big talking points of preseason 13 will be the reintroduction of Rod of Ages, which is going to be a mythic item. 60 ability power, 300 HP, 300 mana. This item also gains HP, mana, and ability power every minute up to 10 times, for a maximum of 200 HP, of course, 200 mana, and 40 ability power. Now, upon reaching max stacks, so up to 10 times, you gain a level, but the level cap will still remain at 18. And the mythic passive attached to this is that you're gaining ability haste for each legendary item you have. So guys, I know there are a bunch of people out there who used to love Rod of Ages, especially if you're playing some sort of mage in the mid lane. Even AP top laners used to build this, like Singe, and then you'd go like Rylai's after this. So if you are one of those players who plays one of these champions, let me know in the comment section what you think of Rod of Ages being introduced as a mythic item. Now the final two items, guys, are for all you attack damage players out there. So the first of these is Spear of Shojin. This is getting introduced onto the Rift. So 65 attack damage, 300 HP, and 20 ability haste. Now the passives attached to this, there are two, so listen up. First of all, Dragon Force. So your non-ultimate spells, so your Q, W, and E, they gain ability haste that is based off your bonus AD and the champions around you, but this ability haste will be reduced if you have immobilizing spells, otherwise it would be extremely broken. Now the other passive here, Exigency. So you gain movement speed. If you're a melee champion, you get more. If you're a ranged champion, you get a little less, based on your missing HP, and this will be maxed out when you're below 33% of your HP. So once again, guys, I know there are lots of people, especially old heads and boomers out there maybe, who are maybe more familiar with this item and how it used to work. So what do you think of the new iteration? Again, let me know in the comment section. Now the final item, this is Ravenous Hydra. So at the moment, Ravenous Hydra in 12-18, 12-19 as well, is giving you 70 attack damage. In the preseason, 65. It's giving you 20 ability haste at the moment. In the preseason, 20 ability haste, the same. But it's actually giving you 1% less Omnivamp in the preseason. Now, it's still giving you the cleave passive, but this is actually going to deal more damage for melee champions than ranged champions. But there is a new passive here, and this is called Carnivorous. So you're gaining attack damage and Omnivamp whenever you kill an enemy, stacking up to 25 attack damage and 5% Omnivamp. Now, you do lose half of these stacks on death, so make sure you don't run it down, but that sounds kind of broken, and remember, it's when you kill an enemy. Enemies include minions, jungle caps, obviously champions as well, so stacking this, it should happen so quickly. Now, you can only hit each target once per attack or ability, and the cleave passive I mentioned earlier, it does not trigger on structures. So if you're playing a champion like Fiora, the split pushing isn't going to be as broken as you may have thought. So those were the item changes, guys, again for Ravenous Hydra and all the other items. Any comments you have, leave them down below. I'd be super excited to see what you have to say. But those were the item changes we know about at the moment anyway for preseason 13. Thanks so much for watching the video, guys. If you did enjoy it, please remember to leave a like down below, hit that subscribe button, because we will keep you updated on all of the preseason changes in the next couple of months. And until our next season 12, or maybe even preseason 13 upload, this has been Peace.